Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really getting fundamental, distilling the core chemistry of life itself.
Yeah, if you've ever felt a bit lost in all the chemical terms biology throws around, this should help.
We're aiming to cut through the noise and explore the source material on the four big ones, the macromolecules. These literally make up every living cell.
Exactly. And our goal isn't just listing them, it's about connecting how they're built to what they do.
Right.
Because, understanding why water acts weirdly or why a protein folds just so, that's the key to understanding the whole organism.
Okay, so four main classes we need to cover: carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids. That's the plan.
But before we even touch those organic molecules, we absolutely have to start somewhere else.
With water, right?
Mhm.
The most critical non-organic piece.
Absolutely. Textopy. It's the essential solvent, and honestly, its unique properties pretty much set the rules for biology. It all starts with its shape.
That bent V shape. Okay, let's unpack why that specific shape is so important. It comes down to polarity, doesn't it?
Right. It does. Oxygen is, well, it's highly electronegative. Think of it like an electron bully.
Okay.
It pulls the shared electrons in the water molecule much closer to itself.
Which leaves the oxygen side slightly negative.
Yep, a little delta negative,
Huh.
and the hydrogens get left slightly positive, delta plus dol.
So water acts like a tiny magnet.
A very effective one. And that allows water molecules to attract each other.
Ah, and that's the hydrogen bond we hear so much about. The attraction between the positive end of one water molecule and the negative end of another.
Exactly. And remember, these are intermolecular bonds between molecules. They're weaker than the covalent bonds inside the molecule holding the H and O together.
So if they're weak individually, why are they such a big deal for life?
It's about the numbers. Trillions upon trillions of them acting together. That collective force gives water its amazing properties like
The
cohesion.
water sticking to itself, that creates surface tension, right?
Lets those water striders skate on the surface. And then there's adhesion,
Water sticking to other things, like the sides of a glass tube.
or the xylem walls inside a plant. Absolutely.
And you put cohesion and adhesion together, and that's how you get water moving up tall trees. Capillary action.
Precisely. It allows water to defy gravity, pulled up by evaporation from the leaves transpiration. None of that works without hydrogen bonds.
Wow. Okay, what else do these H bonds do?
Another huge one is high specific heat. Water is really stubborn about changing its temperature.
Meaning it takes a lot of energy to heat it up or cool it down.
Right. Because first you've got to use energy just to break those hydrogen bonds before the molecules can even start moving faster, which is what temperature really measures.
And why does that matter to, say, us or a fish?
Well, for us, it helps maintain homeostasis, keeping our internal body temperature stable. Our bodies are mostly water, after all.
Okay, keeps us from overheating or freezing too easily.
And for the fish, it stabilizes their environment. Lakes and oceans don't have wild temperature swings, which protects the life within them.
I remember reading this story about a kid whose fish pond froze over, and they were really worried.
Yes. But the fish were probably fine, right?
Yeah, because ice floats. That's another weird water property.
It's incredibly weird and crucial. Unlike almost everything else, water expands when it freezes, making ice less dense than liquid water,
So it floats on top.
forming an insulating layer. It keeps the liquid water underneath from freezing solid, protecting aquatic life through the winter. If ice sank, lakes would freeze bottom up. Life wouldn't stand a chance.
That's actually mind-blowing. Okay, so water is the stage. Now for the actors, the organic molecules. And the star element here is carbon.
Carbon, absolutely. It's the backbone of life. Its magic lies in its ability to form 4 stable covalent bonds.
4 connections, so it can link up in chains, branches, rings, all sorts of complex shapes.
Exactly. It's the perfect scaffolding material for building large organic molecules. Which brings us to the macromolecules.
Right, the big 4 we mentioned. And they're all built using a similar principle, kind of like an assembly line.
That's a great way to put it. You have small repeating subunits called monomers. Think of them as the Lego bricks.
And when you link a bunch of monomers together?
You get a polymer, or a macromolecule, the big structure made from the bricks.
Okay, so how does the cell actually link these monomers together? What's the reaction?
It's called dehydration synthesis. Dehydration meaning removing water, synthesis meaning to make something.
Okay, so to join 2 monomers, the cell snips off an H from one and an OH group from the other.
Precisely. Those combine to form a water molecule, which leaves, and a covalent bond forms between the 2 monomers where the H and OH used to be.
Building by removing water. Makes sense. What about breaking polymers down, like when we digest food?
That's the reverse process. Hydrolysis, hydro for water, hydro for water.
Sure, you add water back in.
You add a water molecule, and it breaks the bond between monomers, splitting the polymer chain. The H attaches to one monomer, the OH to the other. It's how we get energy from storage molecules.
Cool. Building up and breaking down, all managed by water. Okay, assembly line understood. Let's look at the products, the 4 biomolecules. You mentioned a mnemonic.
Yeah, it helps keep track of the elements. CHO, CHO, CHON, THONP. Just adding nitrogen or phosphorus changes everything.
Let's start with the first CHO, carbohydrates, sugars and starches.
Right. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Often in that classic 2.1 ratio of hydrogen to oxygen, like in water itself. Think text-text-O, 6O, 6X.
And the monomer, the basic unit.
That's the monosaccharide, or simple sugar. Glucose is the big one. Blood sugar, direct fuel for cells to make ATP energy.
Fructose in fruit, galactose in milk, they often end in oses.
Good catch, yes.
Now, if you link 2 of these, like glucose and fructose, you get sucrose, table sugar. But the formula isn't text-212, is it? It's text-212, text-212.
You remembered the dehydration synthesis. That missing H and O, the text-to-texto, is the water molecule that was removed to link them. It shows the process happened.
Got it. So carbs are mainly for quick energy.
Primarily, yes, fast fuel for cells. But they also have structural roles when you build big polymers, polysaccharides.
Like starch in plants for energy storage.
Exactly. And glycogen is how animals store glucose, mainly in the liver and muscles.
And structurally.
Cellulose gives plant cell walls their rigidity. That's fiber for us. And chitin makes up fungi cell walls and insect exoskeletons. Tough stuff.
Okay, on to the next CHO group. Lipids, fats, oils, waxes. Sounds like a mixed bag.
It is very diverse, but they all share one key characteristic.
They don't like water, hydrophobic.
Bingo. They're largely nonpolar because they're packed with carbon-hydrogen bonds. They still have CH and O, but way less oxygen compared to carbs. No 2.1 ratio here.
And the building blocks are usually glycerol and fatty acids.
Typically, yes. One glycerol molecule linked to usually 3 fatty acid chains forms a triglyceride, a fat, again via dehydration synthesis.
Now, the difference between butter and vegetable oil comes down to saturated versus unsaturated fats, right?
It does. It's about the bonds between the carbon atoms in those fatty acid tails.
Saturated means only single bonds.
Only single bonds between carbons. So the chain is straight and fully saturated with hydrogen atoms. These straight chains pack together tightly.
Making them solid at room temperature, like animal fats.
Correct. But unsaturated fats have at least one double bond between carbons in the chain.
And that double bond creates a bend or a kink.
It does. And those kinks prevent the chains from packing closely together.
Which is why they're liquid at room temperature oils, usually from plants.
Exactly. And we should quickly mention trans fats. Those are artificially created by hydrogenating unsaturated fats to make them solid, but they're generally considered unhealthy.
Okay, functions of lipids. We know long-term energy storage.
Yes, much more energy per gram than carbs. Also vital for insulation.
Like thermal insulation. Blubber on a seal.
Yep. And electrical insulation, the myelin sheath around nerve cells that speeds up signals.
Crucial. And didn't you say cell membranes?
Absolutely critical. Phospholipids, a special type of lipid, form the basic structure of all cell membranes. Steroids, another lipid type, include vital hormones and cholesterol.
Wow, okay. Moving on, now we add nitrogen, CHON, proteins.
The workhorses indeed. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. Sometimes sulfur too.
And their monomer is the amino acid. How many different kinds are there?
There are 20 common types used by life. They link together with peptide bonds to form long chains called polypeptides.
But a long chain isn't functional, right? It needs shape.
Shape is everything for proteins. The specific sequence of amino acids dictates how that polypeptide chain folds up into a unique, complex 3D structure.
And that 3D structure determines its job.
Precisely. If it folds wrong, it doesn't work. Think of enzymes' biological catalysts. Their shape creates an active site that perfectly fits the molecules they work on.
So they speed up reactions enormously. What else do proteins do? The list seems endless.
It almost is. Structure muscles, hair, keratin, skin, collagen. Transport like hemoglobin carrying oxygen. Defense antibodies fighting infection. Regulation hormones like insulin. Communication receptors on cell surfaces. Movement. They do so much.
Truly the molecular machinery.
Okay.
One more group. We add phosphorus, CHONP, nucleic acids.
The information molecules. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and phosphorus. That P is the giveaway.
Monomer is the nucleotide. What makes up a nucleotide?
3 parts: a phosphate group, a 5-carbon sugar, either deoxyribose or ribose, and a nitrogenous base.
And the 2 big types are DNA and RNA.
Deoxyribonucleic acid and ribonucleic acid, yes.
Their function is basically information storage and use.
Exactly. DNA carries the genetic blueprint, the instructions for building and running the organism. RNA helps carry out those instructions, like making proteins. They code for everything.
And we actually eat these all the time, right?
Constantly. Anytime you eat something from a plant or animal cell, you're consuming its DNA and RNA. Your body just breaks it down and recycles the nucleotides.
So we've gone from water's polarity all the way to DNA's blueprint. It's quite a journey.
It really is, but notice the theme. Simple building blocks, the monomers,
Linked together using dehydration synthesis.
to create these incredibly complex and diverse polymers with specific jobs. Carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, nucleic acids, all following the same basic construction rules.
And the difference in function really boils down to the elements involved and the resulting shape.
Absolutely. CHO for fuel and structure. Add N for the CH-on workhorses, the proteins. Add P for the CHONP information archive, the nucleic acids. Tiny changes in composition lead to vastly different roles.
And it all connects back. The DNA blueprint, nucleic acid, holds the code,
To build the proteins, CHN.
which include the enzymes that run our metabolism, the hormones that regulate us, the structures that hold us together. It's an incredibly efficient system stemming from that one core molecular code.
It makes you think, doesn't it? Since structure and function are so tightly linked at this molecular level, what happens if you make just one tiny tweak?
Like changing one amino acid in a protein.
Or altering a fatty acid chain.
Exactly. How could that small molecular change ripple outwards to affect the entire cell, maybe even the whole organism's ability to survive? It highlights how critical and sometimes fragile this molecular foundation really is, something to ponder.